All right, y'all see these wings right here? Let me bring y'all in so y'all can see them. All right, y'all see them wings right there? Take a look at them. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna go step by step with y'all how I get these done right. All right, so let's hit these wings with a little bit of this vegetable oil I got in here, just a little bit. All right, we're gonna hit it with that. Then I'm gonna go in with the hands. If you don't want to use the hands, get you something else. But you gotta go in here and move these chicken wings around. All right, so we want to get those nice and oiled up. All right. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start seasoning. We're gonna hit them. These are gonna be some naked party wings, so we're not gonna use mustard, none of that stuff. All right. So we're going with the Bayou Magic Creole seasoning. You want to get as much of that on there as you want. But if you do too much, it can get salty. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and just hit this with a good amount of this Bayou because we got us about 5 pounds of wings right there. And we got some black pepper right here. We're gonna be careful with this black pepper because these holes in there are kind of big. So we're gonna be a little bit careful and not put too much on it. Good amount of onion powder. We're gonna put some garlic powder in there. There we go. Garlic powder them up. We're gonna put us some parsley. We're gonna put us some paprika. That paprika is gonna help with the color since we're not using flour on these. And we're gonna take us some baking powder. We're gonna put us about a tablespoon and a half. Let's see how a tablespoon look on here. Yeah, we're gonna put us about a tablespoon and a half of baking powder. All right, then what we're gonna do next, we're gonna go in and give this a mix. We're gonna mix this whole seasoning blend up, and if we see that it looks like it needs some more seasoning, we're gonna add some more. Looks good to me so far. All right, so you see that? Look how it's looking. That's how you want that to be looking. See the red coming through? All right, you see all that coming through? All right, so that's how we're doing that right there. And that baking powder, see those seasoned wings? Look at them. Let me get one up and let y'all see it. Now, if you want, you can add a little bit more salt to it. I think mine has enough salt. All right, let's go. Let's go on ahead and get this chicken down in there. We got that green light on. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to drop the basket and we're going to drop us about four. Well, we're going to drop us about 8 or 10 of these in there because they're small. We're going to let these cook for about maybe 8 to 10 minutes. Get them good and crispy. All right, so we got those in there. We're going to let them go. All right, we're going to pull these wings up out of there and let them rest for a minute. They're not all the way completely done. We're going to turn the temperature up. Let the temperature rise, and we're gonna drop them back in and get them crispy. But you can get a look at them right now. That's how they're looking right there. But we're gonna drop them back in for about another 2 minutes and get that crispy crunch on them. Since we didn't use any flour, we're using baking powder, and it's gonna be the fire. All right, so we dropped those back in. We got it at 375 degrees. The second fry is where it's gonna get crispy. All right, let's take these chicken out of there. That's how you want them, good and crispy, just like that. Got these tongues so y'all can see a piece of them. Look how crispy they are right there. Look at that. That right there. Let me just transfer these right over here. There they are right there. All right, y'all know I said I was gonna do it. I told y'all I was gonna demonstrate. So look at this. I done cooked look at that right there. Where's the camera at? You see that right there? See that hot honey chicken wing right there? Let's make sure y'all can see that good. Y'all see that right there? Y'all see it? All right, that's that hot sauce y'all saw me make. So we going in for the demonstration. Wow. I'm good.